This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is Not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey, what's up? This is Muphy Madsen here on Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., alongside Scooter Dust.
Watching out for the shoe, as always.
And it is a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the 90s kid, Muphy Madsen. How are you, Muphy?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me on the show. This is a cool experience to do something, auditory, to talk to you guys and just kind of hang out.
Absolutely. And where can the audience hang out with the 90s kid event-wise?
Oh, yeah, totally. So I am located in Washington State. I have a lot of events coming up. Some of them are in Canada, some of them are in Oregon, and some of them are here in Washington. So it's been super cool kind of traveling, doing that. I'm primarily, trying to do shows in Washington, but it's been kind of unfortunate because a lot of our promotions have, just been disappearing lately. So I'm super excited to be part of this new promotion called Peak Sports Entertainment. It's actually run by the people who have trained me in American style wrestling, and they're a couple of great dudes, and we're going to start working with some charities and stuff. So it's going to be super awesome. That's going to be in Everett, Washington. So I'm super excited for that. But as far as Oregon and the other places that I can be seen, I'm seen at DOA Pro Wrestling as well as POW Pro Wrestling in Oregon. And I'm making actually a Canadian debut in Canada this Saturday, which is super awesome, at All Star Wrestling. So I'm really excited for that opportunity. And it's looking like you might see the Murphy at a venue in California, which is pretty cool.
Ooh, which venue?
I got talked to for a women's event, but unfortunately I was already booked that day. So I'm in talks with them. So it's kind of a little bit of a surprise because I'm not sure when and if I'll be debuting there. So it'll be super cool.
So we will put a pin in that for now.
Definitely, yeah.
And where can we find all things Muphy Madsen on social media and your merchandise, if you got it?
I do have merchandise right now. It's only available at shows. I am looking into getting on Brainbuster Tees, but I haven't made that jump yet. So right now, only in person for merchandise. But I will say what I have is pretty cool. So if you guys can come out to any of my shows, I will definitely have some cool things for you. And also, sorry, what was the second question?
Social media.
Oh, yeah, social media, just Instagram.
All right. So, at Muphy_Madsen, correct?
Yes, just Murphy_Madsen on Instagram.
Okay. And the link to your Instagram will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. All right. Let's get into it. You work for Power Wrestling and DOA. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
They are two super cool dudes. Well, I'll start with DOA. So DOA has been around for a really long time. We just celebrated the 15th year anniversary, and it's really been a pillar in the Pacific Northwest as far as wrestling goes. And I'm just honored to be a part of it. I get to work with talent, talk to veterans such as Drexel and Dr. Cleaver. There are so many people that have come out of there and are a big part of DOA that have been really cool people to just spend time with, and then also just glean information from. So that's DOA Pro Wrestling, and that's in Portland, Oregon. PAL Pro Wrestling is super awesome because it's run by Mr. Ulala, who's a super great creative mind and has lots of exciting storylines just available for every wrestler that he employs, and it's been super cool getting to work with him as well. So yeah.
You know, it's crazy that, like you mentioned, you're in the Washington area, and there was a lot of great promotions up there that unfortunately folded. 3-2-1 Battle, Without a Cause.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that, there was a lot of controversy definitely around 3-2-1 as it closed down, and that was really unfortunate. And then WAC was amazing. I really, really loved it. It again was ran by two guys that I'm really close to, and they have a really great vision for wrestling, as well as one of their other friends in the business as well. And it's just been really awesome to see where they were with WAC, and then kind of see the rebirth of something new with Peak Sports Entertainment. So I'm just really excited to be a part of that next step and that new adventure there, for sure.
And a quick shout out to Max Zaleski, who was one of our first promoters we had on the show that we interviewed.
Max is an amazing guy, definitely, and I had the honor to work with him actually in the ring a little bit. And he actually was training to be a wrestler from what I understood, and he's just a really great guy, and just really has a super great mind for the business, and has been just a really great support system for me and so many others.
It's quite impressive you got him in the ring, because he had one match and then quit. He was like, I'm good.
Hey, there has been many people that have influenced me in my career, and he's definitely one of them. And so I'm very honored to have that experience for sure.
All right. Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I am also myself a 90s kid, although I'd say right about now I'm more close to 90s middle-aged man at this point. So, being a 90s kid, would you consider yourself more towards Gen X or millennial?
So for me personally, I don't really know much about those labels, to be honest. I kind of live my life and do what I do. I guess I would be considered a millennial, I think. But I don't know. Again, I'm just kind of just immersed in the atmosphere, just kind of living my life. So I don't really know where I fall into, those kind of labels, but I can say this, that I am definitely a bit older, you know what I mean, than actually a lot of people in the business. So it's really cool to be doing what I do, celebrating what I love, and just be able to bring it in front of a new audience, especially during this resurgence of appreciation for all things 90s.
You want to feel young? I'll tell you how old I am. I'm 39. Now you feel
No, I mean, I don't feel bad. I'm 32. I definitely started this career path. Well, later in life. So it's definitely been interesting, and there's definitely things that I have to juggle. You know, I'm not just working a part-time job. I have a full-time job, you know, and I'm also wrestling as much as I possibly can.
Right.
You know, an injury comes with that, and you know, so it's definitely been a wild ride, but I'm just very thankful for where I'm at and all the people I've gotten to work with thus far.
All right, awesome. I want to ask this while I have it fresh on my mind because I'm not expecting a serious answer to this. So you're a scooter enthusiast. Glad to know you're a fan of me. Tell us about your love of scooters that aren't me.
Oh yes, so I am a big fan of the Razor scooter. There are a few different variations that have come out throughout the years. I definitely like the classic fold-up three-piece scooter that kind of started it all, especially with the little wheelie bar at the bottom of it. I did really like the Sparks. So they came out with a series that was called like Razor Sparks, and those were super cool, but there were never anything that my parents would get for me. So I would ride them, you know, with my friends and stuff, and think I was so cool, you know, doing a scooter skid and doing those little sparks out the back. So that was fun. But definitely, like, I was definitely a bunny hopper. I had, you know, two different scooters. One was like purple wheels, one was clear. Sharing them with my friends, riding them until the streetlights came on and we had to go home. But I just have really fun memories around scootering with my friends. I still have two scooters, and then I also have a rock and roller, which is a really cool scooter. It has inflated wheels that are similar to wheels that you would see on a bike and a wagon. So it's kind of, it almost looks like an off-roader kind of scooter, but definitely is just made for like just road riding, not necessarily tricks or anything. So yeah, no, I super love scooters, and I'll always be happy to talk about them and kind of nerd out about them, you know. So yeah.
Right. I also fold them into three pieces, but only if I've done my yoga for the day.
Right. That's awesome.
James, back to you.
Yes. Can you tell us about your match against Nicole Mattews? Obviously, a well-known, very well-respected name in pro wrestling. You know, even a WWE Mae Young Classic tournament entrant. So, what was that experience like, wrestling such a veteran?
She's awesome. Like, honestly, she's awesome. She's amazing. She has great just great fight, and it really was a great competition with her for sure. I Yeah, that was definitely like a bucket list dream match for me, and I was very lucky to have the opportunity to work with her. Super easy to work with. You know, very just very positive, you know? Like I wasn't afraid, but I knew that she was intimidating. I knew that it was going to be a good fight. And I just really enjoyed it, for sure.
And I mean, that whole event was something, you know, impressive. The Queen of Thorns tournament, with a lot of heavy hitter names in it. So, what did it mean to you to be included in that tournament?
It was definitely an honor. I had been involved with the tournament previously. I had been a referee. And just the atmosphere and as corny as it sounds, just kind of living it up in girl power was amazing. And being a part of that and being seen as a competitor in it was just like nothing I'd ever experienced before. You know, a lot of these cards, especially on the indies, are super male heavy.
Right.
And to have a locker room of all females kind of, you know, even though we're in competition with each other, coming together, you know, sharing our stories, and just palling around was super awesome and just really like a once in a lifetime experience. And I was just so happy to be a part of it for sure.
And you do have a lot of incredible talent in that area, especially the ones that come down from Canada. Um, the whole twins, not twins, the whole sisters, Tara Zeb, Izzy McQueen. So, I mean, it's a really good area for women's wrestling as well.
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm so happy to be getting this opportunity to go to Canada to wrestle at all, like this weekend. It's gonna be a good fight. You know, we are two girls from the States, but I'm hoping that, you know, maybe some Canadian ladies are gonna be in the stands, you know, watching the show and see, you know, good old Murph showing out and be like, ooh, she's a good competitor. She's someone to look out for. So I'm really thankful for this weekend and this opportunity that I'm having coming up. And yeah, I have had the honor of working with Bambi, and it's been amazing. Like, all the Canadians I've worked with have been just super cool and super awesome. And then I'm also going to be tag teaming with Izzy McQueen here soon. So that's going to be a great experience as well.
I believe Bambi was your first high profile match, correct?
Absolutely, yep. That happened at 5cc Wrestling, and I believe it was a little bit over a year ago. But that was one of the best, and still is one of the best wrestling experience I've had.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did she not break your nose during that match?
She did not break my nose. I have very many piercings, and I do have a nose ring, and it is not one that I take out and re-put in. So actually what had happened was she had gotten me with a hip attack and just got me in the nose, and it scratched me. So
I mean, it looked a lot worse than maybe it was.
So at first I thought it was broken at first, and then I realized what had happened, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, let's keep going. Let's, you know, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to tap out. So
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't Triple H pulling Batista's nose ring out situation.
No, it was not that.
Alright. Scooter.
Yes. Now, I'd like to get to know the person behind the in-ring performer, and something on your Instagram caught my eye because it's something I literally followed somebody down to get. And by sheer happenstance, one random day, a number of years ago, a DeLorean, fully functioning, pulls out in front of me. And I go following it, and I ask the guy for a picture because, you know, a bunch of my friends are Back to the Future fans. You also have a picture next to a DeLorean. I'm betting there's an interesting story behind that.
You know, now I'm debating whether I tell the story or I tell a fabricated story.
Well, now you have to tell it.
Yes, okay. So actually, in Washington State, there's a really great car show that happens every year. It's called Radwood, and it's all cars from the 80s and 90s. And so there was somebody who actually there are different clubs that focus on each car, right? There's actually a club not too far away from where I live that is a DeLorean club, right? And so when I was at this event, I saw the most beautiful DeLorean I'd ever seen, and I was taking pictures of it. And in a previous life, long time ago, I used to take photos of cars professionally, and the owner of it could tell, oh, do you want to get a better like line on it? Like, do you want to get a better view of the car and the way it's supposed to look? And I was like, oh yeah, I would love that. And so he let me take a picture with it, and it was super cool. And I got to walk around it, talk to him more about it. So it was really a really great experience. But yeah, Radwood, check it out. They have amazing vehicles, food trucks, competitions, you know, who can dress the most 80s and 90s. And it was just a really great event. And I would definitely check it out if you guys are local or can travel to it for sure.
All right. Well, love that. James, throw it back here.
Yes. Keeping on the trend of, you know, incredible names that you've been in the ring with, Kikyo, one of the mainstays of that area, well-respected independent wrestler. What was that experience like, getting in the ring with Kikyo?
You know, just her presence is really, it's one of those things where you like kind of take a deep breath and you're taken back because you know that she's, you know, fought a lot of other, you know, great competitors, kind of in the same respect as Nicole Mattews in a way. And
Right.
It's one of those things where you're like, okay, like, am I going to commit to this? Am I going to, you know, be part of this fight? And like, you kind of have to, you know, juice yourself up for it in a way, like, you know, jump up and down and like really amp yourself up for it and get ready. Just because she's such a fierce competitor, you know, not unlike Nicole Mattews, but just like a different, they just have a different era about them, you know? But yeah, great person to work with, really, really cool mind for the business. Definitely someone that I'm looking forward to facing again this weekend. Sorry, I'm like plugging this weekend so much, but I'm just so excited to be traveling to Canada. She's actually holding the title at All-Star Wrestling, and I will be challenging her for that. So it'll really be interesting to see where that goes. But yeah, Kikyo, an amazing competitor, a great person to work with again. Just one of those things where you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Now, we've been talking about all the incredible talent that you've been in the ring with, you know, Bambi Hall, Kikyo, Nicole Mattews. Can you tell us about being in the ring with Octavia Ace?
Octavia Ace, holy cow, yeah. I honestly couldn't see that coming. It was one of those things where, you know, I was completely taken off guard. There was nothing I could do. It was a great experience, honestly, like to have fought, you know, something from the sea. So yeah, I mean, there's not much to say on that. You know, that was a wild ride for sure.
Okay. Good.
All right. Now, what's the craziest '90s prop you've ever used in the ring?
Oh, so I actually worked a hardcore match where I was able to bring some of my, well, it was a street fight. Sorry, excuse me. It was not a hardcore match. It was a street fight. But yeah, definitely like it's been super great, like trying to come up with 90s things to use in the ring. I did a stinger splash off of my scooter. And then I also used those sock and boppers, and that was pretty awesome, as well as a skip it.
Oh my god!
And yeah, it was great. So if you guys have IWTV, I was in a street fight with the wrong side against the co-op at DOA Wrestling, and it's a really great watch. It was a really amazing fight, and you guys should really check it out for sure.
You know, even the commentators for that match, they were like, "Oh, those are inflatable hands." They had, and I was like, "Dude, those are Sako Batos." I still remember the song.
Yes,
Yeah.
more fun than a pillow
Well, fun.
fight. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, that's ingrained in
Yeah.
my head now. That's never going away.
Absolutely.
Oh man. All right. Building on top of that, what 90s fad do you wish would make a comeback today?
Ooh. Honestly, like, I feel like everything's kind of coming back. I'm like trying to think about it. One thing that's kind of like a weird, sick obsession is the different colors of ketchup.
Oh, yes.
The green and the purple.
Yep.
Yeah, especially, purple's my favorite color. I gotta go with the purple. But yeah, like, I love that. All of the weird, like, not experimental, but just like the weird, super fun food to try to get the kids involved. Like, I loved that stuff. I actually, like, as part of my little merch table, I have 90s candy because, like, I need to show the next generation how delicious 90s candy is. Baby bottle pops, ring pops,
Wow.
juicy drop pop, all those,
Yes.
Oh, I'm a snack food, beverage junkie. I collect limited edition stuff like that, and I was lucky enough to get blessed with a re-release of my favorite '90s band. That was Crystal Pepsi.
Oh, sick! Yeah, there was a re-release like not too long ago. Like, wasn't it like maybe 4 or 5 years ago? Right?
I think it was for the
Yep.
Stranger Things.
Oh,
No,
did they really? No, because they were partnering with Coke, I thought.
Yeah, Stranger Things was partnered with Coke.
Okay.
Crystal Pepsi, for some reason, they just decided to re-release it, and I went to every store I could, and I just bought out how much ever was in their fridges.
Oh, that's awesome. I've been kind of doing that with Dunkaroos. Like, I've just been getting, like, 5 packs here, 4 packs there as I'm seeing them more often.
They still sell Dunkaroos here in New York City. They're not the same Dunkaroos, though, as they were in the 90s.
Where they were, yeah. So now they're circular, right? They used to kind of be more like a
Almost like
wafer,
something like that, yeah.
yeah, like oval stick shape, almost like the sugar
Jenny
stick
Pack.
in a fun dip, kind of.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they still taste good, but it's definitely different.
And while we're on the subject of that, what's your favorite Mountain Dew flavor?
Ooh, okay. I'm new school with the Mountain Dew, to be honest. Baja Blast. I have to be honest. I know it's not the original flavor, but Baja Blast rocks, and then Voltage is a close second.
Have you had
Voltage.
the Flaming Hot?
Oh God.
No, I've never tried that. I have a sensitive stomach, which is so funny because I go so hard on like all of the 90s candies, all of the 90s drinks and stuff. And then like if I do like a weird mixture like that, like I can't eat like hot Cheetos and drink a Mountain Dew. Like I'll get a stomach ache. Like I have to pick one or the other.
I do the same exact thing. I really do go way too hard on all those beverages. I really do need to cut down though. But I have had, if there's a Mountain Dew flavor you can name, I most likely have had it. Voltage is actually plentiful on the shelves, along with Code Red and Major Melon. But it's the seasonal flavors of Mountain Dew that I love. 2 years ago, it was a gingerbread flavored that was clear, and somehow that was freaking delicious.
No way. So you try the crazy ones. You're brave. Like I don't try the crazy ones. Like I stay in my lane. Like this summer was so rad because they had that whole line of Baja come out.
Yep.
Woo, that was awesome. Like I'm down with that. But like when it gets to like adding like food like bread or hot Cheeto or like things like that, I'm like, ooh, I can't. Like it just kind of freaks me out.
Funny enough, when they released the flavor Fruitquake for Christmas last year, supposed to be fruitcake, somehow that was even better
Oh,
than
God.
gingerbread.
Okay, now you're talking me into trying one of these. If I get a stomach ache, it's your fault, Scooter.
Oh, well, you know what? I also have the same sensitive stomach condition since I was a kid. So, hey, you know what? If we'll go down, we'll go down together. How about
Okay.
that? Okay.
And I will say, if you have the opportunity to try Flaming Hot Mountain Dew, do not try Flaming Hot Mountain Dew.
Okay, I won't. That sounds really crazy. I don't think I will.
You kind of have to hate yourself to drink it. So.
Oh no! Oh no! That
I've
sounds
not
awful.
seen good reviews about it.
Oh man, that's wild.
Alright, can you tell us about the advantages and disadvantages of wrestling in cargo pants?
Ooh, I love it because I always know it's full coverage. For me personally, I find no disadvantage actually. Yeah, no, I love it. The cargo pants that I wear, I kind of researched them. They're American Stitch. And they're super breathable. I mean, that's the only thing, I guess. Okay. Disadvantage, if I'm doing a show outdoors in 100-degree weather, maybe it would be sweaty. But that's the only disadvantage. The cargo pants that I have are very, just flexible, versatile, and, they do what they need to do. And so I like it, honestly.
So you actually researched these things before you actually got them as, wrestling gear.
So actually, by happenstance, I was at Zoomies a couple years ago, or around a year ago, and I saw them and I felt the material they were made out of, and I was like, "This is perfect, and this is what I want to wear." And so I bought, one yellow, one orange, and that's still what I'm working today. And yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I have all the padding I need if I'm wearing knee pads, if eventually I want to get kick pads, if I start doing more striking. I have room to do that. They're super great, honestly.
Interesting, because the other girl that we interviewed that wrestled in cargo pants maybe didn't take to it as much as you did. So I was interested.
No, that's totally fine. I mean, to each their own,
Right.
different flavors of ice cream for every.
That being said, was it a shoot or work that you and Tara Zeb matched cargo pants?
That time old Navy got into
Can you hear
making
me?
these.
Yeah, I can still hear, guys.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you hear the question?
I think you had to repeat yourself there.
Yeah, okay. Was it on purpose or total coincidence that you and Tara Zeb matched cargo pants that one time?
Oh, I love that question. That was an extreme coincidence.
Really?
Yes. So that's just the gear I've been running for a really long time, right? And so I chose everything I was wearing, got all ready, and Tara actually was doing some work with Miles at the time, and she was like, "Oh, Miles is wearing yellow," so I was wearing yellow, and I was like, "We have the same pants on right now," and so yeah, we just ended up by mistake wearing almost the same exact pair of pants.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was. It's crazy the coincidences you get in pro wrestling.
I know, it's wild. And so we have the same pants. Who knows? Maybe in the future we can work together in some kind of way. That'd be super rad.
Muphy Madsen and Tara Zeb tag team.
Oh yeah.
That would be very interesting to say the least.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Goosebumps exists.
Yes, it does. And that would
I
be a
think it would be
great
great.
entrance theme for you too.
Absolutely. Yep. It's good music.
Fans beware.
Alright.
Yeah.
Tara, if you're listening, if a promoter's listening, book the damn tag team.
Yes, do it, please.
All right, Scooter.
Yes. Now, I'm going to go back to the food thing because you're in a very famous, at least in my eyes, and most of the snack community, one of the most famous snack institutions is in your area. Have you ever been to Voodoo Donuts?
You might be disappointed in me. I have never personally been to Voodoo Donuts. I have had a Voodoo Donut, but I've never been to the shop itself.
Oh, having one I think is just as good as going there. Which one was it?
I think it was actually the one that looks like a voodoo doll. I think I split it with one of my buddies back in the day. I don't even remember where we were at or what we were doing, but I remember specifically like cutting this person-like donut in half and feeling weird about it.
And somewhere, some poor guy was randomly seen splitting in half.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, again, being in that area, how much does it actually rain in Seattle?
I would say at least 60 to 70% of the time. But we've been having a lot of drier seasons lately, so right now it's been about 50-50. If you count like the dry season completely and then, times it rains during the dry season and then also like the cold and rainy season.
Sounds like you need to sacrifice more donuts.
Right?
All right, James, I'm back.
Yes. Can you tell us if it's challenging to eat cereal while doing push-ups?
I mean, I guess that just depends on your upper body strength. For me, I would say that it is medium challenging because you don't want to get milk on the carpet because that smells bad. But, it's a good workout and you get your nutrition in. So I recommend it to anybody willing to try.
I would probably throw up if I did that. But how did that concept of doing that even come up? If I'm
I love all that. I love just the 90s silly happy fun times weirdness, and I think that that's really in line with it. Like, for example, Kenan Thompson saying fake French words out of a bathtub. I think that was
Everyday
very
French
in
with
line.
Pierre escargot.
Exactly. I think that was very in line with that. And so I'm an amalgamation of 90s hip hop and Nickelodeon, I would say, with a little bit of Disney Channel original movie thrown in there as well.
favorite Disney Channel original movie?
My favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I really cannot answer that because I love them all so very much. One that sticks out in my mind is the 13th Year, where the boy turns into a merman, and Johnny Tsunami.
Yes.
So those are two that are really awesome. Brink. And then I'm just trying to think of a top 5, so I'm up to 3 now. Brink.
Halloween Town.
Oh yeah, of course, Halloween Town. That's like goes without saying. Oh, and actually Under Wraps. So that's probably my 5 actually. For right now, I'm gonna say the top 5 is 13th Year, Johnny Tsunami, Halloween Town, Under Wraps. Oh, and I missed one. What one did I say? Brink. Yeah, those are the top 5 right now.
Okay.
Well, Xenon's Space Girl.
A what?
It was the other one I remember is Xenon.
Oh, dang it. Okay, now I have to how did I forget about Xenon, honestly? Okay. Oof. All right. I'll have to come out with my top 10 later. Because there's too many DCOMs to rate them all.
Research needs to be done. A trip to Disney Plus needs to be taken.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like you know my evening plans.
Speaking of top 5, top 10, you competed in a 6-sided ring. What was that experience like, having 2 extra sides to the ring?
It's super difficult. So like I am someone who considers themselves a lucha American wrestler. When I first started training wrestling, I trained lucha, which is a very different and amazing art all in itself.
Right.
But it's definitely something that influences my style, and that's a very rope heavy style of wrestling, right? And so when you're doing that, it just messes you up when you're running, when you're on offense, when you're on defense. There's so many, different factors that get in the way when you're wrestling in a ring with more than 4 sides. So I found it difficult, but manageable for sure. And then also the tension between ropes is different. So like there might be a good side of 2, and then the other 3, it's a 5-sided ring. So the other 3 was messed up, right? And so you have to remember, oh, those 2 are the good side. If I want to spring, I got to spring on that side. If it's not there and we're working on this side, like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to manage that, and that's a little bit tricky.
All right. Squiggle.
Best musical group to come out of the 90s.
Oh my God. That is the craziest question I think I've ever been asked. I'm going to have to go with TLC, but there are so many more amazing girl groups, such as the Spice Girls and Destiny's Child. Holy cow.
Yeah, I was
Three Little Women. And then rappers on their own too, like, Lil Kim, Debra, Missy Elliott. Like, that was a really great year for women in music. Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, whew, I could keep going. Like Jump 5, that was boys and girls. It was crazy. Great time for music.
I had a huge crush on Sporty Spice, on Mel C, and I actually saw Spice World in the theater, not once, but twice.
All right, let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely great period for research like girl groups. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
James,
Yes.
what about you?
Now, can you tell us why you had a jar of lint?
I currently just moved into a new house, and it does have a laundry room, and I just put my lint in a jar.
And it came in handy when you had that rivalry with the Goblin King.
Yes, so actually that was a setup for a prospective women's tournament that actually never came to fruition due to unforeseen hurdles that were needing to be met and could not be met. So unfortunately, even though there was all that buildup, it was not something that ever came to be. So in the future, if Izzy McQueen ever wants to wrestle me, that would be awesome. But it was not something that I was able to do.
So you ate lint for no reason.
Absolutely, yeah, and it was awful.
That being said, can you tell us about More for Nothing?
Murph for Nothing is legitimately Murph for Nothing. It is Murph for Nothing at the end of the day. Murph for Nothing is a show where it's a little bit of a tutorial, a little bit of a inside peek of Murph's life, and I just hope you enjoy it. But in the end, it's Smurf or nothing. I'm taking all the titles. I'm pinning all the people and winning all the wins.
Okay. That brings us to Muphy Madsen's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
A story of like when I was on the road with the boys driving to a match.
Yes.
Let me think. Well, there was one that happened recently. So, as you know, I've had a little bit of a rivalry with someone named Rashad Tyson.
Yes.
But he is somebody that also lives in the same area of Washington as I do and is able to drive, us and a couple of our other buddies up to venues and things. So I kind of have to bite my tongue and take rides with him, right? He's a little bit of a crazy driver, but this last time was kind of even more crazy because he was starting to talk about this hamster. And me and Rashad have trained together for a very long time, and I've never heard about his hamster. So he started to talk about his hamster off and on, and I just called him out and I said, Rashad, if you cannot show me a picture of your hamster, you're lying about pets, and I'm going to tell everybody that you are a person that tries to lie about having a pet to seem to be more of a human being. Because I always tease Rashad about like being a tough, heartless guy. So I'm like, you're heartless, you're making this up, this is fake, you want to get sympathy that you have a hamster, right? And so I'm telling him this the whole ride home. You don't have a hamster, stop telling us stories about this hamster. My buddies in the back, JC and Zeb, are like, yeah, you don't have a hamster, and we're all agreeing and giving him a hard time. He's like, no, I'll call my friends. He calls two different people to verify the fact that he has a hamster. They verify it. I'm not sold. I'm like, you're a good actor, Rashad. I'm not going to believe that. Like, you probably told your friends that one day you're going to lie about having a hamster and they're going to have to vouch for you. Like, I just didn't believe it. So finally, actually, on this very day was the day that I said, if you do not show me a picture of you with this hamster, I will tell everybody on social media that you are inhuman and you're lying about having a hamster to appear to be more of a human being. And he's like, fine. And so he sent a very sweet video of him and his Chinese dwarf hamster. And so now we all believe that, yes, Rashad does have a hamster, and its name is Gordon Hampstead.
All right. Was not expecting that, but it was definitely appreciated.
I'm glad you guys appreciated the story.
Without a doubt. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
Keeping on, bizarre adventures. You jumped off a balcony once.
This is true. Yes, I did.
Can you tell us about jumping off that and why?
So in that match, I was put up against some of the best, most well-known wrestlers in the area, and some that have even wrestled internationally. Sonico, Caleb Casey. It was one of those things where it was like, I need to give my all, and quite frankly, it's going to be Murph or nothing. So I'm going to have to do this. Like, there was no doubt in my mind. I was like, I want to do a dive and I want to make it big, right? And everybody's like, oh, all my teammates are like, are you sure? You sure you want to do this? Are you going to do it? Da, da, da. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm going to do this. I've got this. When I was younger, I was also a little bit of a daredevil. Like, I would jump off of my neighbor's shed, my neighbor's roof. Like, it's something that I, have done similar things in the past. But let me tell you, when the pressure's on and you're in that match and you have to do it, it's a feeling like nothing else. and you literally have to go for it. And that was an amazing experience taking that risk. Yeah.
When you're up there, are you like, this is a lot higher than I expected? Are you thinking about the height, or are you just adrenaline is running and I have to jump?
I think it's more on the adrenaline side, but I was like, for me, it was like, this is what I'm doing. And this is, I was just in my head and I was just saying, like, this is the next step. This is what I have to do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. How high was it? Like 15 feet?
Yeah, I think that's an accurate assumption. It had to be somewhere between 12 and 15.
Okay. Alright, Scooter, it's time for the colossal question, no?
Yes, it is. Now, let's assume that a blockbuster studio is wanting to make a huge movie about the wrestling career of Muphy Madsen. And of course, everybody knows in Hollywood that when you start making a movie, you gotta start with the soundtrack. Clearly. What would be 3 to 5 songs that would be on the soundtrack to the Muphy Madsen wrestling career biopic?
Nice. That is a very great question. I obviously have to say TLC No Scrubs.
Nice.
And that would be the correct answer.
Yes. No Diggity, right?
With Dre or without Dre?
With Dre.
Okay.
Let me think. 2. Wannabe. Let's go. Let's go full 90s. Wannabe. Spice Girls. Mbop Hanson.
I was waiting for that.
Yep. And then, one more. It's got to be a good one. I have to go with Survivor Destiny's Child.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's 90s. It might be early 2000s. If so, I have to go to the Fugees' That Thing then, if that is early 2000s.
God. Oh man, the Fugees, because I remember in junior high when they came out with their cover of "Killing Me Softly," and we sang that in middle school chorus. So, I'm going to put both of those together.
Hopefully it hit.
But
it's definitely a solid. You have solid picks then.
Yes, for sure. Part of like doing this is just researching really prominent music of my like era and stuff that I can attach with different tag teams or different promotions or a different feel, or maybe I want to take the lyrics out and remix it. Like, so I've just been listening to so much 90s music and really like wanting to figure out my vibe and like who I want to be in each area or who I want to be in each arena of fighting. So it's been really cool. It's been really a fun ride.
Scooter, I believe it's time for part 2.
Yes. Now, after we've gotten through the most important part, now we go on to the next most important part, and that's casting. Who would play Muphy Madsen in the Muphy Madsen wrestling career biopic? And you cannot say yourself because you are contractually obliged to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Yep. That's a really great, LOL. That's a really great question. Trying to think of somebody around the same age when I started wrestling.
It could be anybody, honestly. We could get CGI out.
Okay.
But we don't want to go uncanny valley, so.
I mean, honestly, like, if I'm going for somebody, I don't know, like, because, like, I want somebody who can do their own stunts. So it's kind of hard. It's like, I mean, Cara Delevingne has to be an option because I feel like we're kind of the same vein of like carrying ourselves, but also I don't know how athletic she is. I'm so, I know I'm taking this way too seriously.
No, we love the passion.
Yeah.
I know. I am thinking about this. I am literally thinking about this right now. I'm just gonna say, just to go with a random Y kind of a pick, I'm just gonna say Saoirse Ronan because she's a great actress. Or Haley Steinfeld, actually. Haley Steinfeld. Like, let's do that.
Okay.
I erase that. Switch it. Haley Steinfeld. That's the one.
Alright.
Okay, that's good. I believe Saoirse Ronan, I think, was just in elementary school when you had started. So I think Haley, that's a good one. You know, she's doing the Hawkeye and everything. So yeah,
Right?
all
Yeah,
right.
Haley. Yeah. I think that's a better choice. Haley is the one I'm gonna go with.
Now, every
All right.
movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people in your life that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Ooh, that's a great question. Huh. So I feel bad because I don't know actors' names. But
Don't worry, we'll come up.
one of my trainers, Dave Turner, I think he would be played by. He was in the recent Black Widow movie. He played the.
David Harbour.
He wore the red suit. He was also in
David Harbour.
Yes.
Stranger Things.
Yes.
That's
him.
David Harbour. Yep, David Harbour.
Yes.
Good choice.
Yes, David Harbour, one of my trainers that I really connect with. And then my other trainer, Chris Ross, that I really connect with. Let me think. Sorry, I'm taking this so seriously, but I really want to make sure that I match the energy.
It's okay. I mean, you could pull out your Google machine if you need to.
Oh, yes, the old Google machine. The machine I don't like to use because I'm stubborn. I would say that he would be like. So, have you guys seen Glow?
Yes, the series on Netflix, right?
Yes, Sam.
Yes.
The director.
Yep.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So he would be him.
Mark Maron.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mark Maron. That's really interesting because outside of that, he's a really serious, almost bordering on political satirist in a way. So I think that's a brilliant casting choice.
Yeah, I chose him because they have similar energy in a way, like where they're tough but also a softie.
But does he have a fantastic mustache?
I mean, if he tried to grow a mustache, maybe he would. I don't know if that's ever been anything that he's wanted to do.
All right, you got one more.
One more. Let me think. It's so hard to choose all the people.
I mean, you could just give me one person and we could leave the casting up to casting.
Yes. I would say Zeb Saint one. So Zebediah Saint. Yeah, leave casting up to casting, but he was a big part of my training and will always be somebody that I really look up to in wrestling.
All right. I mean, we got Haley Seinfeld, David Harbour, Mark Maron. This is sounding like a fantastic movie.
I think so.
And you could pre-order the tickets now.
That's awesome.
All right. I'm not exactly sure what the timeline is on this, but you were once a lumberjack, correct?
Like being in a lumberjack match?
No, an actual lumberjack. Lumberjill, technically.
Whoa, I don't even remember that.
Okay, where did I find that?
That's something I didn't even find, and I can find anything. Jesus.
You know, sometimes I go very too deep that maybe I don't exactly know, but there was definitely a picture of you in some type of lumberjack attire, I would say.
Are you sure?
Oh, I
flannel?
was wearing a flannel at a arcade.
I'm pretty sure it was in the ring, but let's go with that for now.
I have never worn flannel in a ring or held an axe in a ring, so that's very interesting.
And that's surely something about Dave and Buster's and them having an axe throwing game. And I don't remember where I saw that now, so thanks, Jeb. Now that's going to be in my head for the rest of the night.
Yep. Alright.
I hate when I can't figure out where things are from.
Moving on. Can you tell us about your love of The Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time?
It's just one of my all-time favorite games. Like, there's really not much else to say, but it's really something that I always go back to, and it's like a comfort play. And yeah, I mean, it's how one of my best friends and I bonded, and it'll always be a big part of my life. So yeah, I love Zelda.
Okay. On to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Yes, absolutely. Put whatever you want on your pizza.
Even banana?
Hey, whatever floats your boat. I don't have to eat it.
Alright. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Probably Psyduck or Snorlax.
Oh yeah.
Psyduck!
We love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for THUG? THUG.
I'm really disappointed to tell you that I do not know the acronym.
T is for terrible. H is for hell. U is for ugly. And G is for jail, because a thug can't spell.
That's awesome.
Yes. We love the late great Tracy Smothers. Trying to keep the memory alive. And the weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
Absolutely.
Okay. I love that it's just yes, 100%, no context.
Yep, I would.
Well, just for context, there's this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled in actual Rock for over 15 minutes in what was dubbed a Tungsten Man match, an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
That's pretty cool.
Now,
Backwards hats off to him.
on a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully wrestling internationally. My biggest goal is to make it to Eve Pro Wrestling, which is a promotion that highlights women's wrestling up in the UK. That to me is my ultimate goal. I love WWE. I love all of these mainstream avenues of wrestling. But to me, I would be happy if I got to wrestle a match on an Eve wrestling show.
Okay. And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about?
I mean, there's a little bit of Murphy in every match that I've had. My most recent match was a 6-man scramble on DOA on IWTV, and that's a really great way to see where I'm at right now today. Still, my favorite match of all time, I have to say, is my match with Bambi Hall at 5cc.
And we can find
It's
out.
going to take a lot, I think, to match that. You know, she gave me my Becky Lynch moment, and there's not much else to say besides that.
And we could find that on YouTube, correct?
Yes, the 5cc match is on YouTube, and anything DOA and SOS is usually on IWTV. Some of it is on YouTube as well. I do have some content on Twitch, Reactivate Pro Wrestling as well. I'm not sure how far that goes back. But yeah, Pal Pro Wrestling too, YouTube, you can find some things. So those are kind of the main websites I'm on, and the main search keys to look up.
Alright. And the match with Bambi, I will search YouTube for it and put a link to the match in the description of the video below, put on YouTube and Castbox. For anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Yes. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Stone Cold.
Worst wrestler.
No such thing.
Scooter?
I love that. I love that answer. You know what? I'm not even going to list the default, because that, I think, is the first time somebody's been so steadfast in that answer that I think, hell, we could retire that question probably after tonight.
We'll see about retiring it, but we will accept
No, we're not
the answer.
Retire it. We're not going to retire it, but we love that answer.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Bailey.
Oh yeah. If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Stone Cold.
Which version?
The glass shattering, the big one. Like
the
after he gained popularity, like in the Attitude Era, like that one.
The original.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is
real.
We also would have accepted is quite good on toast.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit.
No, because of the seeds. How dare you?
Yes. Tomato logic.
Yes.
But you are a part of Squash Squad now, and that means a hell of a lot more. New Japan Pro Wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing north and south to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Subjective.
She did say earlier, full coverage with the cargo shorts.
I for myself am comfortable with full coverage. Other people might be trying to might try and have a show within a show, and that's up to them.
So to each their own.
Exactly.
There you go. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
A stranger in a supermarket? No.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much, Murphy, for coming on and doing this with us.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
And once again, where can we find all things Muphy Madsen on social media and your merchandise?
Pretty much, it's just on Instagram, Murphy_Matsen. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, it's the same thing, or I guess X now. And merchandise is just at shows. So I hope to see you there.
All right. And you don't even have to go typing it into your Google machine. The link to her Instagram and Twitter will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link, a new tab will appear on whatever device you're on. And if you want merchandise, obviously book a flight, get to a show that she's on, and buy a damn shirt. Alright, of course, if you like what, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this is sponsored by Red Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview Dakota Duke. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. And you can follow the show at Wrestling with E, but on X, Instagram, and Dread. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993 for how long, who knows. And where can we find you?
As always, you can find me on X at Scooter Dust. My stand-up comedy special, live from Camp Lejeune, has just been renewed for no performances, free water with admission. Keep an eye out on social media for any upcoming news on the remix. I promise it will come back. It's taken a little bit. And of course, revel in my Dungeons and Dragons antics, along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan, twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
Now, Murphy, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Okay.
For very special guest Muphy Madsen, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.